Right. Hello, David, Director of for joining me and chatting with me today for our students at Halesowen College. David, could you tell me how long have you been in the IT industry?
Yeah, well, just about 38 years now. Been working for, initially I worked for the Inland Revenue on the developing their tax collection systems, and that was transitioned to Fujitsu, and lately I've been running my own company that writes websites and apps, mostly around the weather.
Yes, so you actually own your own weather website that puts out weather information and an app that people can use.
That's right.
So yeah, at one point you were working for somebody else in Inland Revenue,
yeah.
but now you've got your own company.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, can you tell me your last two formal qualifications, please?
Yes, well, I've got 3 A levels and O levels before that.
Okay, O levels is old money for GCSEs,
Yes,
isn't
yeah.
it? What A levels did you get, Dave?
That would have been maths and physics, and also electronics, electrical engineering.
Right, so Dave, you don't have any formal computer science
No,
qualifications?
no. There was it was quite early on, really. I mean, we were talking about early 80s, and it was a fairly rare thing to have a computer in the school, let alone a computer science course. There was later on, but I didn't get a chance to take advantage of that.
Okay, and so did you go to university?
I did briefly, but I didn't finish university, so I went on to. In fact, I left the university to start the job with the Inland Revenue, which was with their computer department. But so it was the revenue at that point that gave me some training in computers.
And you programming, is that right? What language did you program in?
Well, back then it was COBOL,
Right.
like a business language, quite archaic. I don't know that it's used very much these days.
Right. And how long were you with the Inland Revenue and Fujitsu? Well, tell us, how long were you with those?
Yes, well, so the Inland Revenue sold their computer division to EDS, and then Fujitsu. Fujitsu were quite a large Japanese computer and company, and in total I was doing that job for 29 years, mostly what they call system administration. So I did start off programming, but I found that I was more suited to administering the Unix systems, as they were.
Okay, great. So that was 8 years ago. Do you mind me asking how were you paid for doing a job like that?
Yeah, well, by the time I left, which, like I say, was about 8 years ago, I was more or less at the top of what they would call the system administration scale. So I was senior system administration, and that was it was just over 50,000 a year at that point from Fujitsu.
Okay. But you really left to set up your own company, which you've been doing in parallel with your job. Is that right?
Yeah. So back in as soon as the internet arrived back in the early 90s, I was tinkering with it, learning how to program and how to use HTML and CSS and JavaScript. And then I started a weather website back in about 2000 is when it first went live, so about 24 years ago. And over time that started to bring in more money. And by the time I actually left Fujitsu, I was earning about, well, it was at that point it was about 3 times as much from the website as I was from the job. So it was a no-brainer that it was time to leave and put all my effort into the website, and then that became the website and the mobile app.
Great. So let me get this right. Our students can go on your weather website. We can get some good weather information. That's good. Okay, that's fantastic. Actually, Dave, very good. You got this weather website. How do you make money out of the fact that you've got this weather website?
Well, that's one of the skills you need. It's not only programming and the system administration side. You also need to be able to monetize. This is the term they use. So in my case, most of the money comes from advertising.
Right.
So the usual sort of banner ads at the bottom of the screen, or sometimes put them in at the side. So I sell blank space on my website and the app through Google, a program that they run called AdSense, and then advertisers who are interested in advertising on a weather website can slot their ads in, and I get paid either for each impression, so when somebody sees the ad, or more usually when they click on the ad.
Okay. What do you like about your job?
Well, my hobby has always been programming and tinkering with the internet, so I genuinely enjoy the challenge of solving the programming issues and problems, and the fact, as on top of that, obviously the flexibility and the fact that that comes from owning your own company, being your own boss effectively. So the whole package is just mostly enjoyable. Obviously, when people write in with complaints, not so enjoyable.
Okay, there you go. How far do you have to travel to your job?
Yeah, well, the job I do now, I could do it from home if I chose to do so. But I do actually rent an office space at the local university, which is Wolverhampton University's Telford campus, and I that's about a 10-minute drive, perhaps a bit less than that. Which is useful just for being with other people like-minded, doing similar jobs, exchanging ideas, and the formality of having a place to go to work rather than trying to do it out of your bedroom.
Okay. And lastly, if any of our students at Halesowen College want to do what you've done, be a systems administrator or go, what advice would you give them?
Yes, well, I'm basically trained myself for the job that I'm doing now. I mean, these things are quite achievable things to learn. Don't be afraid to go and teach yourself to program, teach yourself, put up a small website. The barrier to entry for these things is very, very low. You don't need much money, you don't need much previous skills. What you do need is the time and the enthusiasm to go and investigate and teach yourself to program and to run websites. There are formal courses, of course, and I mean they probably work well. But for me, it was the path I took meant that I had to do it in my spare time. Pick something that you enjoy.
Okay, good. All right. Well, David, on behalf of all students at Halesowen College on the IT and Digital Technologies course, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today about your life experience. It's been good.
No problem. Thank you.